Stop scrolling, because this moment might just be the reset your life needs. I'm Tony Robbins, and today we're diving into something that every one of us faces: chaos. When life flips upside down, when your plans collapse, when nothing seems stable, what do? Most people panic, they freeze, they wait for things to go back to normal. But the truth, there is no normal, there's only now. And if you learn how to thrive, not just survive, in chaos you become unstoppable. Because chaos isn't your enemy, it's your training ground. It's where you discover who you really are, what you're capable of, and how far you can go when everything else falls away. So today I'm going to show you how to adapt, pivot, and grow no matter how wildly life changes around you. When everything around you feels like it's collapsing, most people assume the world is ending. They panic, they retreat, they give in to the fear that nothing will ever be the same again. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Chaos isn't a sign of destruction. It's a sign of transformation. Every great moment in history, every personal breakthrough, every revolution, it began with chaos. The human instinct is to label change as danger because it disrupts comfort. But in reality, what you're seeing is not the end. It's the process of rebuilding something better. When life shakes your foundation, it's not punishing you, it's preparing you. The structures that collapse are the ones that were never strong enough to last. And when they fall, they make room for something far more powerful to emerge. Think about it. The greatest transformations don't happen in calm waters. They happen in storms. Chaos is nature's way of clearing out what no longer serves you. You can resist it, you can fear it, or you can learn from it. Because what you interpret as disorder is often design in disguise. It's life reordering itself to align with your growth. The real question isn't, why is this happening? It's, what is this making possible? The strongest people aren't those who avoid chaos. They're the ones who stand in it, breathe through it, and realize this isn't destruction, this is rebirth. And here's the second truth that most refuse to confront. You cannot move forward if you're clinging to the past. People love to talk about growth, about progress, but they're gripping onto what used to be. They want change without loss. They want the future without letting go of the familiar. But that's not how life works. You can't step into what's next if your hands are full of what's gone. The past is comfortable because it's predictable. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't stretch you. And that's why so many people stay stuck. Not because they lack opportunity, but because they're addicted to certainty. The harsh reality is this: the world doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It keeps moving. And if you don't move with it, you get left behind. Every time you choose nostalgia over newness, you're trading your future for a memory. You're choosing comfort over possibility. Growth demands loss. You can't evolve and remain unchanged. The person you were can't survive in the world you're moving toward. So you can mourn the past, you can honor it, but don't worship, because the more you cling to what was, the more you suffocate what could be. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It means trusting that what's ahead has more to offer than what's behind. It means believing that the unknown holds opportunity, not just danger. And it means understanding that every ending you experience isn't closing your life. It's clearing your path. The past is a teacher, not a home. Learn from it, thank it, and then release it. Because you cannot thrive in chaos if you're chained to yesterday. In moments of uncertainty, people often talk about staying calm. But let's be honest, calm doesn't come naturally when the ground is shaking beneath you. What keeps you grounded isn't denial, it's clarity. Most people panic not because life is falling apart, but because they've lost sight of what matters. They let fear dictate the narrative. They obsess over what they can't control, over headlines, over circumstances, over noise. And in doing so, they surrender their power. But here's the truth: chaos only has power if you give it your focus. You can't control the storm, but you can control where you stand in it. You decide what story you tell yourself, and that story determines whether you crumble or conquer. Clarity doesn't come from wishing the world were easier. It comes from asking better questions. When everything feels uncertain, ask yourself, what's actually within my influence? What can I build? What can I learn? What can I improve? Because when you direct your energy toward what you can do, the chaos loses its grip. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about realizing that uncertainty is a test, not of what you know, but of how you think. Most people want control, but real power comes from focus. The world could be burning, but if you keep your eyes on what matters, you'll always find your way out. That's the secret. The people who rise aren't the ones who avoid the storm. They're the ones who see clearly through it. And once you have clarity, there's another hard truth: you must act. Because clarity without action is just comfort disguised as wisdom. Everyone loves to plan, to reflect, to analyze, but few dare to move. Why? Because movement means risk. It means stepping out when you don't have all the answers. It means embracing failure as part of progress. But that's exactly how growth works. You can't steer a parked car. You can't change direction if you're standing still. Action, bold, messy, uncertain action is the bridge between confusion and confidence. The people who adapt aren't the smartest. They're the ones who refuse to stay frozen. They take the first step, even if it's small, even if it's scary, because every step forward creates momentum. And momentum, once built, becomes unstoppable. You don't wait for certainty. You create it by moving. You make mistakes, you learn, you adjust. That's how every innovator, every leader, every survivor operates. They don't wait for the chaos to pass. They move through it. When everything changes, doing nothing is the most dangerous choice you can make. Action gives you feedback. It teaches you what works and what doesn't. It transforms fear into fuel, because once you move, fear has to keep up, and it can't. So don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Act now, adapt fast, and understand that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's movement in spite of it. In a world that rewards hesitation with regret, the bold always win. Most people think strength is about never feeling uncertain, that if you're truly resilient, you're unshaken. But that's a lie. Real strength isn't built in comfort, it's forged in discomfort. It's about standing firm when everything around you tries to push you off balance. The truth is, uncertainty doesn't make you weak. It reveals who you are beneath the noise. When everything's stripped away, your plans, your control, your routine, what's left, that's your foundation. And if that foundation is built on external validation or predictability, it will crumble the second life stops going your way. But if it's built on conviction, on discipline, on truth, you'll weather anything, because chaos doesn't destroy strong people, it exposes fragile illusions. Here's what no one wants to admit: uncertainty is permanent. The world has never been predictable. We just convinced ourselves it was. People crave the illusion of stability because it makes them feel safe. They schedule their lives, make their plans, and think they've tamed chaos. But the moment something unexpected happens, a job loss, a breakup, a crisis, they panic. Why? Because they built their peace on control, not character. The ones who stay strong aren't immune to fear. They simply know that fear isn't a command, it's a signal. It says, pay attention. Adapt. They don't let it paralyze them. They listen, learn, and move. Because mental toughness isn't denial. It's awareness without surrender. And here's where most people fail. They think adapting means lowering their standards, accepting defeat, or compromising their vision. But adaptation isn't submission, it's strategy. It's about recalibrating without retreating. The strongest people are the most flexible, not because they bend to every breeze, but because they know rigidity breaks under pressure. They adjust their sails, not their destination. Life changes, markets shift, people leave, opportunities vanish. And those who survive are the ones who pivot, not panic. Let's be clear, pivoting doesn't mean abandoning your mission. It means finding a new route to the same purpose. You can't control the terrain, but you control the direction. Think of every successful leader, every innovator, every survivor. None of them got there by clinging to plan A. They failed, they adjusted, they learned, and they grew stronger. Because every detour reveals a skill you didn't know you had. Every obstacle builds a mindset that can't be shaken. What defines you isn't whether life changes. It's how you respond when it does. Do you resist it? Do you whine about how unfair it is? Or do you ask, what's the opportunity hiding inside this chaos? Because there always is one. Adaptation is not a weakness. It's the highest form of strength. It's the realization that your environment doesn't dictate your outcome. Your mindset does. The chaos may be loud, but your clarity must be louder. The world won't slow down for you. You must evolve not someday, not when things feel safe, but now. People love to talk about success like it's some glamorous destination, like one day you just arrive. But the truth is far less romantic. Success is built in the dark, in silence, in those moments when nobody's watching and everything feels pointless. The fifth principle is simple but uncomfortable. Growth is not a straight line. It's messy, it's frustrating, and it often looks like failure until it doesn't. The people who make it aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. They understand that the struggle isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every setback is a signal, not a sentence. Life's resistance is what builds strength. You can't develop muscle without